From the Moon Valley Country Club, I'm Joey Lawrence with JOX Sports. Welcome to another edition of Top JOX Interviews. The past 3 years, we have produced several shows for the Junior Golf Association of Arizona, where today's guest was a multiple champion. We have filmed 2 Brophy Invitationals. Our guest won the 5A state title while attending Brophy. This year, we covered the University of Arizona's Arizona Intercollegiate. Our guest was an All-American and was introduced into the U of A's Sports Hall of Fame. It is so appropriate to what we do at JOX that we introduce PGA champion Ted Purdy. Ted, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. Well, we might as well get right into it. My first question is, how old were you when you got started in this great game, and who got you started?
Well, I grew up here at Moon Valley Country Club on the 10th fairway, and they have pictures of me in diapers. And I guess I'd go out on my grandfather was an avid golfer, my mom was an avid golfer, my dad is a horrible golfer, but my grandfather retired. He was a Supreme Court justice for the state of Iowa, and then he retired and moved to Phoenix and bought a house right down the road from us here in Moon Valley, and he cut down a club for me, and I guess they have pictures of me in diapers going down the fairway, and I'd hit the ball until I got to the 10th green, tapped it in, and I'd be done. I'd come home.
No shame.
No shame, absolutely not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As I mentioned in our introduction, you won an individual state title at Brophy Prep shooting 66 and 68 at Karsten as a senior, a record that stood for years. What did that do for your confidence?
It was just an amazing time. I was always, in my opinion, the best junior player in Arizona, and would have had a tough time breaking through to win the state title, because that was a big goal. My freshman year, on the last hole of the tournament, I made an incorrect drop, got penalized by 2 shots, ended up finishing 3rd. So as a freshman, I thought I'd win, and a sophomore thought I'd win, junior thought I'd win the state 5A title, and wasn't able to do it. And I got a lesson from Manuel Delatorre a week before the state title, and his lesson was just visualize the target in your mind's eye. And still to this day, that's the greatest lesson I've ever had. And I went out and I just literally visualized the target in my mind's eye before I hit every shot. I think I won by 10 or 11 shots the tournament, and and I was being followed by Steve Loy and Rick LaRose from the University of Arizona. And after I tapped in the last hole, 18th hole at Karsten, it's a difficult hole. I had to drive right down the middle of the fairway. I hit an iron shot to about 2 feet, and I tapped in to win. And Steve Loy came up and gave me a bear hug and said, "That's one of the, while I was on the green, basically." And he was just so excited that he watched some beautiful golf, and the NC2A, a few months later, fined him for that.
Really?
Yeah. So
well, it's just exciting.
I cost coach a couple bucks, but yeah, it was just an exciting week. Obviously, it was huge for my confidence. It was huge for I always believed I'd be great. It just helped. It's just one more step to.
Well, I'm sure senior year is a very rewarding year to win that. So at least
it was such a rewarding year, and it meant so much because I had wanted it so bad, losing as a freshman on the last hole, and it was good to be able to overcome
left Brophy on top.
My demons. Yeah.
Very good. Well, you definitely bared down individually at U of A. Did your team make it to any NCAA championships?
Yeah, in fact, my freshman year, we won 11 of 13 events.
Okay.
The one of the ones we didn't win was the NC2A championship. But we were dominant number 1 the whole year. They used to call our team the Redliners because everybody on the squad would shoot under par.
Oh, wow. It's a good squad.
Yeah, we were very incredible. So that freshman year was a pretty incredible year. We went to NC2As every year. I was there. I think our best finish was a 4th or fifth when Rory Sabatini was on the team my junior, senior year. But yeah, we always had wonderful teams at U of A.
Great. Well, winning the 2005 Brian Nelson had to be a very rewarding experience. You were one of the last winners to receive your trophy from the legend himself. What was that experience like?
Well, to date, that's the pinnacle of golf for me. Hopefully I have more things to do, but yeah, Byron is still alive. I had three really close calls in 2004. I had really good close calls, a couple close calls in 2005, and for me to break through to win on the PGA Tour was a huge accomplishment for me, and again, the pinnacle of my career. And being able to meet Byron and spend time with him, and he took me to dinner.
Wow.
I went to his house with Peggy. He invited me back to speak to his charity in December that next year. So he wrote me a dozen letters. He was a very prolific letter writer.
Really?
I don't know, people probably don't know this, but Byron used to write the champion of the PGA Tour event each week a handwritten letter. Congratulations for winning.
That's nice.
The Pebble Beach, and Tiger even says he has all those letters still.
Wow.
That Byron, all 80 whatever of them that he's won. But Byron would write Tiger a letter every time he won.
That's awesome. A few years after the Byron Nelson, you struggled a little with your game. Then in 2013, you won the Mexican Open. How did you get your game back?
So here at Moon Valley Country Club, I grew up with Pam Barnett was my coach. And Pam had played the LPGA Tour for years. She hurt her hands in like 1977 or 76, hitting a tree root, which ended her professional career. She ended up taking a job for Carson Solheim at Ping and became one of the Ping's first female LPGA Tour reps. So she would travel around fitting the LPGA gals in clubs, and she got tired of traveling so much, and so Carson bought Moon Valley Country Club, and she became the head teaching pro here in 1980 something. And Pam has been my coach my whole life, since I was since I was in diapers, basically. She probably started teaching me about 8 years old. So Pam I was mentored by really veteran tour players, and I was also taught by a veteran tour player who happened to be Pam. So I had this great mentorship growing up. And I hadn't seen her I didn't see her at all in 2010 when I lost my card. I probably didn't see her very much in 2009, though I had a decent year in 9. And I go, my grip's off? How can my grip be off? So she fixes my grip. I go down to Mexican Open and win. So I hadn't hardly played at all in a year, and I win the Mexican Open. And I went, well, that's kind of incredible. So Pam tests my grip a certain way, and it was a system that was developed by Manuel Delatorre and his father, Angel Delatorre, a way of testing your grip. So I showed the lead engineer at Local Motors, and I was kind of giving him golf lessons as it was, and I said, we need to create a tool that does this, and that analyzes the grip the way Pam analyzes my grip, so I never get off again. The tool that Steve, we call him Coach, the tool that Coach invented is out of this world amazing. Showed it to John Solheim at Ping. He told me it was the best training aid he's ever seen. I've shown it to just, everybody I can show it to, and everybody thinks it's amazing tool that Steve invented.
And that's called the Purdy Grip Analyzer, correct?
Yeah, so we call it the Purdy Grip Analyzer. John Solheim at Ping and their engineers, they built us 300 of them. And we sold the first 300 in about a month.
Awesome.
The grip is paramount to playing great golf, and this tool really helps the golfer put their hands on the club properly.
Well, it sounds great. Could you tell us maybe where we could find one of these?
Yeah, it's purdygrip.com.
Okay.
tedpurdy.com.
Great.
So,
Well, somewhat back to you playing golf. What does your competition schedule look like for this year?
well, I'm playing on the web.com tour. I've been playing horribly, and I got to change that, but it can change in a week. So I need to go back and see Pam, I think. But yeah, I've been playing on the web.com. I played in the Houston Open on the PGA Tour. Looks like I'll play in Reno next week. So I'm still playing, just not playing very well.
Well, that changes fast with you.
It changes in a week, that's right. I either finish last or first.
There you go.
So.
Awesome. Well, if you could tell us some advice you'd have for junior golfers who have the PGA Tour dream.
Well, just from the interview, the first thing I would say is find a great mentor. Find somebody that has been there, done that, that can guide you where to go. My friends over at the Legacy course down in south of Phoenix, or 32nd Street Baseline, they created a program called Path to the Tour. And what they're basically doing is the same thing that I did when I grew up. I had a mentor, and they sent me to Asia. So these kids that want to be professionals get stuck in the mini tour rep, I'd call it, where you're playing for your own money, and it's expensive, and you can never really get ahead, and it's really demoralizing, in my opinion. Is the Gateway tours and the Hooters tour and the thing where it's just glorified gambling, where everybody puts money in the pot and you play for the pot.
Okay.
So my recommendation for anybody striving to be a professional golfer is go to a major tour school. Go to the Asian tours. Go to the South African tour, South American tour. The PGA Tour has the Latino American tour, the Canadian tour. Go to these major tours and find your way that way, is what I would say. And then to get to that point of being a professional golfer, you just got to play golf, play tournaments. Play as many rounds of golf. You don't get better on the driving range.
Practice.
For example, you hit balls for an hour and you're hitting them great, but you really don't know how far you're hitting it. You're not necessarily hitting to a situation. You're not hitting to an angle. You want your putt from a certain angle. So golf is more like a chess match.
Okay.
You want to position your ball a certain way. And the great players are in watching the British Open last week, with these big holes in the middle of fairways, guys just weren't hitting drivers. Rory McIlroy won the event, and I only recall him hitting driver 3-4 times. And when I played that same course in 2006, Tiger, I think, hit one driver the whole week. And I don't recall hitting a driver on them. So golf is more of a chess match, where a mentor that teaches you the game, teaches you how to play the chess match, is hugely beneficial. The other thing is, I had a young kid. I grew up playing in Moon Valley in a group called the Scratch Group. And it's a gambling game. So each birdie you make is a potential skin so you get the mindset of you've got to play good because you're on a team and you're playing for a little money. So the 4-footer, 5-footer means something, and your heart rate gets elevated.
Okay.
Most of these kids today don't play for something. They either got to play in a tournament or they got to play, when they're not playing a tournament, play for a little something. Where I had this kid who was a good player in college. I played with him last week in the scratch group here at Moon Valley. And he got done and he goes, "I've never been so nervous in my life." And we're just playing a little friendly game.
Mm-hmm.
But his heart rate got elevated. He missed a couple short putts early, and then every short putt got heightened his level. But that's how you learn how to play great. You learn how to manage that.
Deal with the pressure.
Deal with the pressure, manage your heart rate, manage your excitement. That's the beauty of competitive golf. And that's why there's Rory McIlroy's. And there's guys like, me that are struggling. Rory is at a heightened level of zone that he's just out there, he's in the moment. He said in his interview, he said, all I was thinking was process and spot. He said, the whole week, there were 2 words in his head, process and spot.
Mm-hmm.
So he was mentally in an amazing place, which you can't learn by the driving range.
Yeah.
You just can't learn that on the driving range. And that's the game. Now you learn your swing and you learn how far you hit it and you learn how to shape a ball or something, but
Just one part of it.
But you don't learn spot and process on the driving range. And that's what the kids that want to be great pros, that's what they have to do.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us today.
Yeah.
It was really great talking to you. And I also wanted to thank the fine people at Moon Valley Country Club for their hospitality. And also, if you could, just log on to JOX Sports next month and meet a new guest on Top JOX Interviews. Well, Ted T's off soon, so we're done here. I'm Joey Lawrence with JOX Sports. Thanks for watching.